Hey Rockstars, I'm JB, expert salesperson and master presenter.
I'm the doctor, psychologist, and behavioral expert.
This is the Entrepreneur Mastery Lab podcast.
We're high-performance coaches that help service-based professionals and entrepreneurs take their skills to the next level.
70% of entrepreneurs fail, which is why every week we have real talk with real entrepreneurs to help ensure you are not one of them.
We're also the inventors of the Be Rich mindset,
where we rise to mastery,
inspire greatness,
celebrate knowledge,
and help others along the way.
So join us in the lab.
And now, on to the show.
Welcome back to the lab. I'm JB.
I'm the doctor.
This is a quick hit series, so it's going to be short and sweet, folks. Just a reminder, if you are a first-time listener, give us a like, a follow, a subscribe, give us a 5-star review. We appreciate you joining us. And if you've listened in before and you haven't done all those things, go do it now, right now.
This very second.
This very second. All right, Doc. Hey, today, pretty exciting. We're going to talk about 3 viral tips to master post-COVID in-person networking.
That's a thing, and you need to be good at it.
Yeah, you know what? The reality is networking has changed. Post-COVID, networking is not the same that it was before, and we've got some brand new rules you've got to be aware of and you've got to take advantage of if you want to network effectively.
Yeah, these are tips that are going to make you aware of some of the changes that are going to be out there and that to be prepared for it so that you're not caught off guard when you walk into a networking situation.
Yep. So here's number 1, Doc. Ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Come prepared. Got to come prepared.
Like a boy or Girl Scout. Always come prepared.
That's right. So here's the thing with networking today. When you go to an event, you need to check ahead of time on some of the rules and restrictions and be prepared. That might mean you need a vaccination card. And if you show up to an event that requires a vaccination card, you don't have them, guess what? You are SOL. So you better check in on that. You better bring a mask. If not for you, then for the people around you. You want to make people comfortable after all, and you want to be prepared to do that. And you might just want to bring some Purell with you or some antibacterial sanitizer. Here's why. It's like the new cigarette, right? Back 50, 60 years ago, everybody wanted to light a cigarette. Always good to have a pack of cigarettes. Now it's always good to have Purell. You will never make an enemy by carrying a little bit of Purell on you.
And to be prepared, you have to do your research. So as JB just said, make sure you know if those things are going to be required. And also things to keep in mind. Is there space limitations? Is there occupancy rules changing? If so, and they're limiting the amount of people coming into the event, you might want to get there early so that you're not sitting outside looking in. So do your research, be prepared, find out if you need a mask, if you need your vaccination card, if there's space limitations. These are all things that you really want to know ahead of time before you get there.
Do you need a megaphone to talk to the person all the way across the room? I mean, you got to figure this out stuff. I mean, you just got to know.
Keep your distance from me.
All right. Viral tip number 2, Doc, how to master post-COVID in-person networking. Number 2 is how to say hello.
And I'm hoping there's some listeners out there that know that's a callback from one of our great tips from one of our very, very first podcasts when we were talking about networking.
Could be our very first podcast, even a throwback to our first video we ever put together for our website and Facebook page, which is pretty unbelievable. All right. So how to say hello. A couple of years ago, pre-COVID, I mean, if you went up to somebody and did not shake their hands as an introduction, my God, big mistake. You just dropped the ball big time. Probably even worse than the limp handshake. The dead fish handshake is bad, but failing to shake a hand pre-COVID, even worse. Well, nowadays, don't you dare assume you should be given a handshake. Do not put your comfort onto somebody else. You've got to ask ahead of time, hey, are you a handshaker? You a fist bumper? Elbow bump? Do you bow? What do you do? You got to give the other person room for whatever they're comfortable with. So saying hello, it's a little different today than it used to be.
That's right. And some of the strategies some of the networking places have, and when we do our events, this is something we're implementing, is like color-coded name tags, or to have a little idea on there so they can see. So take away some of that awkwardness, but not every place is going to have that. So it is a great strategy to employ if you are hosting a networking event. Have some way that takes some of that awkwardness away. They'll know if they're a handshaker. They'll know if they're a hugger. They'll know if they're a bower. They'll know what they're supposed to do. Fist bumping, elbow. I never understood the elbow though. Like that's where they tell you to sneeze into if you have to, and then they want you to bump elbows. So it's never made sense to me.
Never thought about that either. I'm going to be a lot less welcoming to elbows in the future.
The other thing when you're saying hello to keep in mind is a big part of the network thing is, promoting business cards, passing business cards, and that still could be a thing. But you also might want to have another strategy employed with that. And one of the things that we use in our business cards is a QR code. So if the person doesn't actually want to take the card from you, because they can just scan your QR code. And if they do take the card from you, they can also scan the QR code later. So that is a great tip on ways to be ready for the new world.
Yeah, I'll be the first to admit that I thought QR codes were the stupidest thing in the world like 5 or 6 years ago. And now that COVID hit and you can do this virtual contact passing where you just use a QR code, or even LinkedIn has that on its application. So even if you don't have one on your business card, you can at least use LinkedIn. It serves a purpose, right? It's pretty interesting. All right. Viral tip number 3 to master post-COVID in-person networking, Doc. This one is be strategic. The great thing about networking today is a lot of times we know who's going to networking events ahead of time. Find a networking event that isn't on LinkedIn, on Eventbrite, on meetups, on social media, that doesn't have a calendar invitation attached to it. And I don't know that I want to go to it. I mean, I'm really going to question that networking event in the first place. The reality is today, you are going to be able to know who is attending that networking ahead of time. And as in all networking, probably not trying to meet 30 people when you're networking. 1 or 2 of the right people is all you need to really have an effective networking session. So take a look ahead of time, who's coming that you want to meet, and you go find them in the networking. So have a strategy in place.
And part of that strategy is generally having a goal. So what do you want to accomplish when you meet these people? So you're picking out your list of specific people that you want to engage with when you get there. You got to find them. And then once you got them, what do you want to accomplish? Is there something you want to learn about them specifically? Do you want to relate how you have some good synergy with them and that they can do some business together? You want to create that excitement. So have that goal in mind before you get there. Because as we said, you might have limited time. You might have some limited space. You might not have same access that you're used to having prior to COVID. So things will be a little bit different until you get out there and see what they are. You want to be very, very prepared.
So there you have it, our 3 viral tips to mastering in-person networking post-COVID. And if you haven't subscribed and followed and given us a 5-star review yet, please do. And if you happen to be interested as well, we've got a link to a freebie right below, 6 methods to make sure your business doesn't fail. So come check us out, give us some love, and we'll see you in the lab.
Don't forget, you can find us at JB and the Doctor on all our social media and at our website, if you want to get it all in one place, at jbandthedoctor.com, with our awesome blog and our podcast that you're listening to, all right there.
All right. Stay tuned for our next how-to.
Peace out, you.